Do you find yourself chronically busy? Do you have much time to yourself or quiet time? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Stillness, the cure. It's very hard in our society to have quiet time and still time. There's constantly pulls for our attention, whether it be work or accomplishments, which can be very validating externally, or whether it's our kids and giving and serving. There's so many ways we can be busy. Our phones, technology, that's always pulling and dinging and ringing. And the challenge with that is it doesn't give us the opportunity to have some stillness and go within, and then that can have some huge challenges. So I call this all preventative medicine and having stillness. I really like the verse in the Bible that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And, there's lots of other spots in the Bible where it talks about meditating on God and being still. And I think that is so key. I can tell you from experience that I was really terrible at this. And that's why I was in a 22-year destructive relationship. It's because I was not being still and being honest with myself, amongst many other things. But stillness and going internally is huge. So having that silence. Two things that come out of that. First of all, what secrets are you keeping from yourself? And I have to laugh. It's like we can actually keep secrets from ourselves. They're things that seem like they're too big, or we're afraid to feel the feeling, or we're afraid to actually look at it face to face. And so we'll literally keep secrets from ourselves, and we won't even know that we're doing it. It's the things you know, but you can't know, that creates the mental challenges in our minds. So if you know them, but you're avoiding knowing them, and you're keeping it a secret, that creates some challenges, some mental and physical challenges in our life when we're not being connected with ourselves and not having that honesty. It's like there's a saying like, what you don't know won't hurt you. And I would say that isn't true. So it's like more what you're keeping from yourself from knowing can eventually hurt you, especially if you're at a time where you're physically not doing as well. Like I really saw this. My dad has battled actually cancer 3 times, amazingly. And during the last bout, he had an operation and had just after the operation, he was just at a physically low state and just struggling. And then all the things that he hadn't really dealt with in his life started bubbling up and creating a lot of anxiety. And it just felt like it was coming from nowhere, but it was like years and years of being completely disconnected. And so it has a way, if you're physically challenged or emotionally challenged at a time or extra stress, those things will be bubbling up out. And that's why I call this preventative medicine. So number one, what are the secrets you're keeping from yourself that you're not even aware of? And you're not going to become aware until you take that time and really do some work on that. And the second one is, what things do you know, or I know, that I'm avoiding dealing with? And there's great ways to do that. We can just numb ourselves, be busy, which was my favorite form of numbing. But we can just basically avoid looking at things we actually do know are there. So those are 2 things: the secrets we're keeping from ourselves and the things we don't really want to look at. And those will catch up with us. The basis of loving ourselves and loving others is that we respect ourselves and respect others, and that includes our thoughts and feelings. So, when it says in the Bible that we're to love others as we love ourselves, really just loving ourselves is giving room for our thoughts and feelings and emotions and giving that some respect and some space. So that would be, in this case, fully accepting thoughts and feelings and past circumstances, and just fully accepting self. That doesn't mean we have to agree with our thoughts, but it's just fully accepting that, hey, these are what I'm thinking right now, and this is where I'm at right now with these thoughts. And then also be willing to feel all the feelings. And, again, we don't have to agree with our thoughts, which create our feelings, but we need to honor them. And we need to say, hey, what is this feeling telling me? What information is it giving me? Rather than saying, oh, I should not be feeling that way, and that's not very nice of me, or that's not very Christian of me, or whatever whatever we do to try to ignore the feelings that are really coming up for us, and just seeing feelings as information that we need to evaluate. So just accepting ourselves and willing to feel the feelings and see our thoughts, and respecting that we do have different thoughts and feelings than everybody else, and that's what makes us unique. Are you a chronic people pleaser? Do you overgive, overfunction, pretty kind, and you're just tired, or maybe even a little bit resentful? Or are you wondering, like, wow, is this all to life? Is this how it works? Because I kind of feel like I'm going through the motions. Well, that's what the Unravel Notebook is for. It's 61 days to unravel our thinking, beliefs, and live a life intentionally as we connect closer with God, ourselves, and others, so we can be more confident and live brighter in this world. So, when we are still, how do we get in touch with the secrets we're keeping from ourselves and the things that we're avoiding? So, these are some different options. I think a great thing is called a thought download. And I like to start off in the morning doing a thought download. And I literally just, wake up, and before I've gotten into my day, it's a great opportunity to write any thoughts that come up. Don't judge them. Don't think much about them. Just write them out. Because we don't really know what's going on in our brains until we start evaluating, oh gosh, this thought keeps coming up, or oh, I didn't even know that thought was in there. And that is very interesting. So just do 5 minutes of a thought download in the morning is really great. And the reason why I say in the morning is our brains are the most open as far as our subconscious in the morning. And so that brings a great opportunity to just do a thought download. Another way in our stillness is just to have real conversations with ourselves and with God, and really honest ones. I'm really not okay with this, or I'm not happy about this, God, and I don't know what to do. And just honest conversations about what's really going on. So some great questions to be asking yourself is, for example, is where do I want to go? Why do I want to go there? Who do I want to go with me? Where am I playing the victim? And where am I giving my volition and my decision making to others? And it was interesting. I actually caught myself in several areas playing the victim, or not basically making the choices I needed to make. And that's again why stillness is the cure. And so this was really helpful for me this week, as I realized, wow, I had some thoughts in there that I actually didn't know were in there, and I actually didn't particularly like them, or needed to figure out why I'm thinking that and do a little work in that area. So that's really good. So the third thing, other than the thought download and having real conversations just with yourself and with God, really open, honest conversations, is the Unravel Notebook. And that's again available at Amazon. And in the Unravel Notebook, the first part is again just a way to kind of have us go deeper in our connection and beliefs of ourselves with God, ourselves with ourselves, and ourselves with others. And then the last part is the Barf Notebook, which is kind of like the thought download and barfing it out, sorting it out, planning it out. So just kind of a process of working through our thoughts and our emotions. And so that's another great tool. And then the fourth option is finding an emotionally safe place to talk. And I know for a long time, I think I had a hard time, because I guess I'm kind of a verbal processor, I would say, although I do really well being able to, write in a notebook and work through that. And just having an emotionally safe place where it's safe for me to say how I'm truly feeling and thinking without that judgment. I would say a counselor is a wonderful option, a life coach, or just a friend that's really going to give you that opportunity and that freedom to do that. So that's another opportunity to have that stillness. And then meditation. And it's interesting with meditation. I really just have to set myself up and say, I'm going to just do 5 minutes a day. But that's again is be still and knowing and relaxing and connecting with God. However you meditate, but just having that stillness in your life and in my life. So that's my big thing for this year, is just every morning doing that for 5 minutes. And I always do more than 5 minutes, but if I tell myself I only have to do it for 5 minutes, I can at least get it started. That's how I get myself to the gym too. I'm like, I only have to spend 6 minutes at the gym. And then that way, when I get to the gym and do those 6 minutes, I'm like, okay, now I can do it. Because I have to tell you, after being at the gym for a few years, I still struggle with going. So I just have found ways to kind of trick my brain into being like, everyone can do, I can do 5 minutes. I can do 5 minutes of about anything. So now, it seems to be a challenge for me to meditate because I've been wanting to do it in a regular, consistent way, and I haven't. So that's my thing. I can do it for 5 minutes every morning. And like I said, usually I go longer than that, but that gets me started. So this is a very brave and amazing way to grow, is by adding that stillness into your life, however that looks, and just doing those thought downloads, having those real conversations, using the Unravel Notebook, talking to someone, meditating. But adding that stillness and being honest with yourself is just such good preventative medicine, as I call it. And I really feel like if we don't deal with our shit's going to deal with us, or our shit's going to hit the fan. And that just isn't a good thing. And I can tell you all about it after my 22 years destructive marriage and 2 psych work visits, in order to get out of that. So I'm sharing this with you, so hopefully that you won't ever be in a situation like that. So take on a practice, like I said, 5 minutes a day, and grow 1% a day. I believe in you. Let your light shine brighter. Have a great day.